Hiya! In this video, what I'm going to share with you is what we call a muscle activation routine. So muscle activation is a little bit like trigger therapy. So certain parts of the body are linked to certain muscles. When we rub those areas, it wakens up the neurological pathway between brain and muscle. So it gets the body functioning and moving much better. So we're going to go through a full routine, starting with the diaphragm. So we start with the diaphragm by placing the fingers underneath the rib cage, and we're going to press in as deep as you can and work your way along around the edge of the rib. So when we press these areas, it's around about 7 out of 10 pressure. The more pressure you can put on, the more effective it is and the longer lasting the effects. So we're working the way up towards the top of the rib cage, and then we miss the sensitive area around the chest and move up onto the breastbone. And we then rub either with fingers or with your knuckles up along the breastbone, taking it all the way towards the throne. So this is all activating your diaphragm, which links to better breathing and more energy. We're then going to come down to your belly button. Take it 2 centimetres either side, 2 inches, and then take it 2 inches down. And then you're going to press in as deep as you can. And this one is to activate your hip flexors. So the hip flexor muscles are the muscles right at the top of the leg. These muscles tend to be short, tight and weak because we spend a lot of time seated. So pressing into that area, 7 out of 10 pressure, will activate those muscles. Then from here, we're going to come to the back of the head. So we come either from the ears towards the centre or from the centre towards the ears, and we're going to work our way around the skull. So you move around, finger pressure, or if you prefer a little bit deeper, you can use the knuckles. And this is activating your glutes, the muscles in the bottom. So because the glutes are a large muscle group, there is actually another couple of points for them, which I'm going to cover in a second. So all these activation points, try and rub that area for around about 30 seconds. So once you've done at the back of the skull, we're then going to come right to the fleshy area just underneath the earlobe, and you press in as deep as you can, making small circles. So this also is activating our glutes, the muscles in the bottom. So from here, we then come down to the tip of the jaw, so right at the top, and you're going to rub, same again, small circles. So these 3 points are linked to the glutes, the muscles in the bottom. We're then going to come down the jawline, so all the way down the jaw, either finger pressure or knuckles. And this is activating our hamstrings, the back of the legs. So you come all the way down towards the chin. And then we're going to move down to the top of the pelvis. So take the thumbs around the back, fingers along the front, and then we're going to squeeze the fingers and thumbs together. So this is activating the muscles down the front of the thighs, the quadriceps. But at the same time, if we come down in towards the pelvic area, so press down into the pelvis, we'll also activate some of the lower back. So pressing in, finger and thumb together, and going down into the pelvis as well. We're then going to bring it all the way up to the chest. So follow the throat down, so down the sternum, 2 centimetres roughly. Either side you'll find 2 little groove areas. So I want you to place the fingers in those grooves, and this is to activate the muscles in the neck. Now, some points as you are rubbing them, you might find they're a little bit sensitive, and that's just giving you feedback from that area. So the neck is one that we tend to hold a lot of stress and tension in, postural stress, but also when we're stressed, we hold it around the neck and the shoulder area. So this area might be sensitive. We then come underneath the chest, go all the way across, small circles just underneath the armpit area. And this is activating the forearms and the wrists. We then go underneath the chest, so giving it a good rub underneath the chest. And at the same time, think about getting those fingers into the rib cage. So under the chest, into the ribs, and this is activating our shoulders. So 7 out of 10 pressure through all these points as you go along. And then we're going to come down to the coccyx, so right to the base of the spine, go 2 centimetres above and give it a good rub with the fist. Now whilst we're rubbing, I want you to think about activating your pelvic floor. So pelvic floor is the muscles that we stop ourselves mid-flow, so think about contracting and relaxing as we rub, and this links to the pelvic floor area. And then the last one, we take it out nice and wide, hinge forward, sit down into a squat, pushing the weight back into the heels, and then we rub and slap the inner thigh. So this one is activating our abdominals. So that's a quick routine that you can do before exercising, before going for a walk, run, before your Pilates or any activity that you are doing to make sure the body is functioning and moving as well as it can do. Also, you could use it after exercise to help reduce some of the soreness that you might feel. So that's muscle activation routine. Take you 5 minutes. I would recommend doing it on a daily basis to make sure you are moving and functioning as much and as freely as you can.